Welcome everyone, good morning. Welcome once again to the Spanish Breakfast Show live on U2 Spain. I'm Skatz, and in today's show I'm talking to Rochelle David from Ask Rochelle Andalucia and getting the latest news and updates about driving licenses, travel from the UK, digital certificates, applying for residency under the withdrawal agreement, and more if there are any questions from you. So it's slightly different from our usual broadcasts, which are generally about just one topic. This is like a news bulletin, only with audience questions too. And you can ask those questions live right now or anytime during the show in the chat box over there or down there, or if you're not watching live, in the comments below. Either way, we'll get you the answers you need. My lovely wife Liz is normally on the chat, but she's busy today, so I'll be keeping an eye on the questions. If I miss your question, just ask me again. I'm here. So, and some of you, two of you, Cindy Brindley and Graham Ward, there's your mention. You've been asking questions on the Facebook groups. Thank you for that. And we'll be answering your questions soon. By the way, you can support this channel by getting a hoodie or a t-shirt of your very own in various colours, t-shirts, mugs, phone cases. Merchandise link is in the video description below. So, without further ado, let's meet my guest for the day. It's Rochelle David. Hello, good morning, Rochelle.
Good morning, Skatz. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's very misty over here. What's it like over there?
Hot, very hot. But it's not supposed to be as hot as it was the last couple of days. So we'll probably have around 35 or something later on today.
That's nice.
But nice, cool nights where I am, so I'm not complaining.
Oh, that's good. Yes, you're right out in the campo there. And
yeah, out in the campo, old house, nice and cool.
Lovely. So thanks for taking the time to come on the show.
No worries.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how this works and seeing whether we can make it a regular feature in the future. So let's get started and see what happens.
Okay.
So first of all, let's talk about driving licenses. So
all right.
Under the Brexit withdrawal agreement, British expats resident in Spain who registered before the end of 2020, they could exchange their driving license for a Spanish one because they won't be able to use their UK one anymore after a certain date, which we'll talk about. So originally it was June, the end of June, wasn't it? But then that was extended. So what's the latest news?
Well, basically, the driving license exchange is not only limited to British expats, it's everybody holding a British license. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So basically, there was a sort of a grace period until the end of June, during which you could do the actual exchange, provided that you pre-registered it before the 31st of December. And they extended that period until the end of October, because lots of people still haven't been able to do it because their residency resolution is still pending. So, and you need that, of course. You don't need the actual TIE, but you need your approval letter from immigration to be able to process your exchange. And they said, the Spanish government said that they are negotiating about a convenio to be able to make exchanges possible for everybody, whether you pre-registered or not in the future, but it's just not there yet. That's another reason why they extended till the 31st of October. And in their press release, they stressed that if necessary, they will even extend that period further. So my advice is don't panic. If you haven't been able to pre-register your license because you were badly advised, your gestor told you that you needed residency, or for whatever reason, you just didn't know. You could, if you want to be very proactive, you could do some online theory tests to get you up to speed with how the Spanish system works, just in case there will not be an agreement, but I think there will be. So just wait. And everybody with a UK license is allowed to drive here until the 31st of October. And should you have arrived after the end of the transition period and you came on a whatever kind of visa, and your visa is, you count 6 months from the date you came to Spain, so when you registered here for your TIE, those 6 months are your actual window. So even if that extends further than the 31st of October, you're still allowed to drive on your license then, because that's not the withdrawal agreement law. That's the regular law for everybody from third countries who come to Spain as residents. You have 6 months to exchange or to exchange, to get a Spanish license, but you will be hopefully within those 6 months. If the agreement is signed, you'll be in a position to just do an exchange. But those 6 months still stand.
Is that 6 months from the date you arrived or from the date you registered for residency?
Well, that's not very clear, because officially when you have a visa, the visa also includes a residency authorization. But I assume that they will take the date on your actual TIE. So that will be the date you apply for it, which has to be within 30 days of arrival. So there's not that much of a difference between arrival date and getting a TIE.
Okay. So officially at the moment, UK licenses for people under the withdrawal agreement run out on October the 31st, but it could be extended. Okay.
Could be extended, yeah. I expect it will be.
There was an end of year deadline for something as well, wasn't there? To do with
if you pre-registered, so you were very prepared, you pre-registered before the 31st of December, then you have until the end of this year to do the actual exchange. So for those people still in the system, waiting for the residency resolution, don't worry, even if it's after the 31st of October, what happens between the 31st of October and the end of December? We don't know if that grace period isn't extended, but you will still be entitled to do the actual exchange at Trafico.
Excellent. Good. Okay. Then. Anything else we need to say about driving licenses before we move on?
Yes. If you are waiting for your residency resolution and your current UK license runs out, please do not renew it in the UK. Because your residency will be backdated to the date of your application. So if it backdated to, say you applied in April and your license runs out in May, and you want to continue to drive here and you renew it, and then your new license will have a date after your residency date, and they will refuse to exchange it. They are entitled to refuse it because it's an irregular renewal. And when we were all still in the EU, they were sort of lenient towards that. They would say, oh, silly Brits. They renewed their license in the UK. They didn't know. And if you acted really like you were sorry and you didn't know, and as soon as you were made aware, you set in motion the exchange. Not anymore for third countries. There's, at the moment, the cases I've heard about, no such leniency. So please just don't renew it. You can exchange an expired license, no problem. You only will have a practical problem because, of course, with an expired license, you cannot continue to drive.
Yeah.
But you have to make a compromise. Hopefully you have a partner who can drive meanwhile.
Yeah.
But don't renew it in the UK.
Yes, so it's a bit of a tricky transition period for some people, I think.
Yep.
Lynn Williams is asking, hello, good morning, Lynn. She's on the chat there. Can you give a quick mention to that on the procedures for EU or Irish licenses in Spain? That's just a simple swapping procedure, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a canje. Yeah, you go to the DGT website. It's a new design on the website, and it's everything to do with driving licenses. You have to look for canje comunitario. Comunitario refers to EU. The EU community. Yeah, and you look at that and then you just select your country when you book the appointment.
Very easy. We could put a link up to that afterwards, couldn't we? That would be easy. Okay then. If that's all on driving licenses, let's move over to travel, I think.
Travel, okay.
So, and we're focusing on travel from the UK into Spain, not the other way around. If you need information on travelling back to the UK, I've put the UK government website link in the video description below for that.
Yeah.
So
and Brits in Spain have published the latest rules as well. Day before yesterday, I think. I had a look on there this morning. I can give a brief overview, but for the details, yes, please look at the website, because, for example, Ireland is not included in the quarantine exemptions for now. They haven't made clear what their standpoint is. So just very quickly, if you travel from Spain to the UK and you want to, as a resident, and before they didn't recognize the EU COVID passports or the certificates. Now they do. But they also still want you to do a test. So you don't have to quarantine anymore in Wales, Scotland and England, but you do need your pre-travel test, a negative one, of course. and within 2 days before you travel. And you also, 72 hours, I think. And you still need your 2-day test, your check test, once you've arrived, within 2 days after arrival. So those 2 tests you still need to do, and probably the 2-day test pre-book from here. But you don't have to quarantine anymore, so that's one thing. And there's different rules for kids, but it's all on the UK government website. And of course, when you come back as a resident, you either have you're either fully vaccinated with your certificate, or you can get an antigen test. You don't need the expensive and horribly painful PCR test.
Okay, well, that's good news. I don't like that one.
That's good news. Yeah. But for the rest, as a tourist to come to Spain, Spain recognizes the NHS vaccination proof that you carry. And if you have that, you don't need anything else.
That's brilliant.
Oh, that's good. No, not true. Yes, that's true. If you're fully vaccinated, you don't need anything else. If you're not fully vaccinated and you're a returning resident, you can have an antigen test. But if you come in as a tourist, you need PCR or LAMP.
Okay. Good.
So
that's
the difference.
By the way, watchers, if you think you're getting good advice here, then give us a thumbs up on the thumbs up button below. And so is that everything about everything about travel? Everybody knows what they need to get into Spain now?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Right, we'll move on to the next topic, digital certificates. This is something you're very happy to talk about.
I'm happy to talk about digital certificates. I advocate it everywhere I go, basically, because it is the single most useful thing you can have in Spain.
It seems that Spain's really firmly grasping this sort of technological advancement.
It is, yes, it is, and it has been for years, basically. But through COVID, there's a really big increase in procedures, trámites, they're called in Spain, that you can do online. For COVID, they even made lots of trámites that used to be only have access to through your digital certificate. They even made those available without electronic certificates. You can do it stuff through email, through their websites. It's amazing. All the government organizations are working with digital certificates. The main one comes from the Mint website, the Spanish Mint, FNMT. And there are instructions also in English on how to download it from there, but they're not easy. I'm sorry to say, it's not easy to download it yourself. I'm no real techie, but I'm no fool either with computers. And I just go to an office and have it done. If you're in Andalusia, there are a series of offices called Guadalinfo. Guadalinfo. I'll put the name on in a comment, and just Google it. And there's a whole list of offices in the entire Andalusia region. Because you can go there. Usually you need to make an appointment now with COVID, and they'll do it for you. You just bring a pen drive or your laptop or your tablet or whatever way you want to have it on, and they'll do it for you for free within a couple of minutes. You would need to go to an office anyway to have your ID verified. That's one of the steps in how to get a digital certificate. So if you want to do it yourself, you go onto the FNMT website, you start and you look for the persona física, because you're a physical person, not a juridical person or anything. And then the steps are there. You need to download software first, or make your browser accept their software. And then you have to apply for the certificate. Then you get an email with a code. You go with that code and your passport to one of the accrediting offices. There's also a list on there with a finding machine, a search machine that you can look for. There's one everywhere. Most town halls do it. The Seguridad Social offices do it. The tax offices do it. And the Guadalinfo offices do it as well. And then once you've got that done, your ID verified, then you can download the actual certificate. And then you must not forget to download it with a password, because if you don't, you won't be able to export and import it into another device or onto a safety device like a pen drive. Because when your computer crashes, you still want to be able to download it onto your new device and be able to use it again without having to apply all over again. If you lose it, there's no worries. You can apply all over again, and the previous one will automatically be disabled. So no worries. But if you, for example, you gave your gestor or your accountant access to your certificate, you gave them a copy, and your laptop has been destroyed or you lost access or whatever, and you apply a new, don't forget to give them a heads up, because then their certificate doesn't work anymore. So you need to give them access to your new one as well. That's basically it. What it does is it's like an electronic signature. It's an electronic file, and it links your NIE number to your electronic signature. When you go and apply, you make sure that your description of your name and your NIE is exactly the same as on your NIE or your residency certificate. They have to be identical, because otherwise it doesn't recognize you. And then it gives you access to the Tráfico website, to the tax office website, to your town hall. Most town halls, you don't need to leave your home to apply for a new Padrón certificate. And you need those all the time, especially when you're new in Spain. So very easy. Most town halls respond within 24 hours with a new certificate. And some of them, you can even register on the Padrón without having to go to the town hall. All those things they're like impulsed by COVID to make sure that people can access stuff and don't have to leave their homes. That's basically
brilliant.
really good.
That sounds really so useful.
Yes. And as a gestor or a friend you trust, you can also represent someone with your own digital certificate. So even if you don't have one yet, certain procedures can be done in representation. Or even if you have one and you're not very comfortable working with it, then you can give either access to someone who has one and is agile with it, or give them an authorization for one specific procedure. It's all online and protected and whatever. It works fabulously. I'm really, really, really happy with it. Everything from ordering new health cards to adding a dependent onto your healthcare entitlement, everything online. It's fabulous. And I give courses. Once you have one and you're not very comfortable yet using it, you can book one.
There you go. Ask Richelle, that's the answer.
Yes.
So Cindy Brindley, there's your answer. She was asking, it may be handy if you give step-by-step instructions on how to obtain a digital certificate. So there you are, Cindy. She's one of our regular watchers. Hello. And she's from, yes. Anyway, I should move on. Let's see. Graham Ward has asked, any news on not having to do a test yet? That's on travel.
No. The UK still insists on tests. They just skipped the 8-day test. And of course, when you only have to do the 2-day one, and because you don't have to quarantine, you don't have to do the early release one on day 5 either, because there is no quarantine. At least not for Scotland, Wales, and England, as they confirmed. Probably Ireland will follow, I think, but we'll have to keep an eye on the UK government website for that. So no. For traveling to the UK, no sight of not needing a test at all.
Okay. But that may come maybe in August. That'll come once they completely open up everything. They're going to open up
when they review it again. Yes, possibly. Only with travel from the UK to Spain or to other EU countries, as long as you're fully vaccinated and it's been 14 days, you don't need a test. So to come back, you don't need one.
Yeah. Quick question on the chat here. From Dave. I might have to put my glasses on for this one. It's a completely unrelated topic. Can I do casual volunteer work when retired there on a non-lucrative visa? That's an easy one.
Oh, well, I think so, because non-lucrative is non-working and volunteering. As long as you don't get paid. As long
as there's none of that stuff, then you're all right.
Yeah, as long as you don't get paid and it's actual volunteering, no problem. You can spend your time as you wish.
Excellent. Good. There you go. Hello, Dave. Good morning. So, right, let's get back to the withdrawal agreement. People have been asking, is it too late for expat residents to apply to stay?
No, but there's a big but, because you need to be able to prove that you qualify to apply under the scope of the withdrawal agreement. There's two scenarios. The first one is the most used one for now, the one that says, as long as you can prove that you arrived in Spain and started residing here before the end of the transition period, so before the end of December last year, then you're good. The second one is if you have a family member, a close family member. Mostly used are spouses, and then have their spouse come in, and possibly children come in afterwards as well. So if you have a spouse who already has a residency permission, authorization, then you can join them. It's like the family reunion under the withdrawal agreement. That's scenario 2. So but the big but is you have to be able to prove that you are here, and not just arrived, not just with a padron, not just with a rental contract, not just with medical insurance in place. You have to have all that plus proof that you are actually residing. And there's a whole list that Extranjería will send you if your application doesn't include documents to accredit that. And it contains stuff like utility bills. But then again, just utility bills will not be enough, because you could have just had that place and as a holiday home, or you had friends and family come over. It still doesn't prove that you were present in Spain. So you have to have proof of that. Grocery shopping with your credit card or your debit card. Having a pet and taking it to the vet. With the vaccination dates stickers in the thing, and proof that you own that pet. The exact travel documents to accredit the date of arrival in Spain. Doctor's visits, dentist visits, officials like a notary, a gestor, anywhere you had an appointment. If you were house hunting, email conversations with the real estate agent confirming appointments here in Spain. Sworn declarations from friends and professionals. I'm just giving out the whole bunch of tips that I give to other people, because it's not easy, and it gets more difficult more time has passed, because they don't just want you to prove at the moment that you arrived and were residing here since before the end of the withdrawal agreement, but continued into 2021. And there are so many people who went home for Christmas and couldn't come back because of the pandemic. Some of them came back straight away when they could, as of the 19th of March, I think it was. But some of them waited really long for all sorts of circumstances. I don't know, family members ill or whatever, other reasons. But you claim you are a resident. And as a resident, you can only be absent from Spain for 6 months max. So if you left before Christmas and you only got back this month, then that's more than 6 months. So that's another reason why they can refuse, because they want to see proof of continued residency. So again, those bank statements with card payments in supermarkets, in local shops, whatever. If you never pay with a card, hopefully you save receipts. Have a look on your Amazon account. Did you have stuff ordered and delivered in Spain? Everything goes, basically, because the law says any proof allowed by law. And that is basically anything that's a legal document. So an invoice, even a ticket, if it doesn't say your card number, if it's from shops in the area, just put them in and try.
Proves that your feet were on Spanish soil. So that's the
yeah, because Spain had the declaratory system. They chose that under the withdrawal agreements. And there's no deadline for that. So as long as you can prove you were here and you continue to reside here, that's something that immigration has invented when time passed. And of course, now even more, because we're over the 6 months limit in 2021.
Yeah.
So that's even more reason why they want to prove. And that's also why some immigration offices ask for your passport, complete copies of all pages, because they want to see if you've been going to and fro after the 1st of January, because then you would have had a stamp in your passport.
Yeah.
They're not fools there. They're not fools, but they are exaggerating, in my opinion, because but they get away with it because nobody has actually appealed up until the level that a court has to make a declaration. So there's been lots of appeals, and everybody says, oh yeah, I've appealed and I've won, blah, blah. Just appealing administratively, there's an appeal that's called an alzada appeal. That's the first appeal. That's still going to be judged by extranjería themselves, by the immigration office. Only when that has been refused and you decide to move on, you still want to appeal because you feel that you meet all the requisites and you just want it and you're willing to dish out more money because then there will be court fees and bigger lawyer fees. No lawyer will take on that appeal without an extra fee, but nobody, at least not what I know of, has gone to that step yet. So there's no jurisprudence about that. If they're ever going to be told, hey, you, with that silly rule about having to have medical insurance since before the end of 2020, because that's the rule. That's not the rule, because you're still covered by EU law, and under EU law you can have 90 days here without medical insurance. So, but nobody has challenged that. Some of them have in their administrative appeals, but not through the courts. Not that I know. If somebody has, please tell me. I want to know.
Yes, please send us messages in the comments.
Yes.
So, final topic for today then, the London Embassy. There seems to be a radio silence from them. Is there any updates from them, or even from Manchester or Edinburgh?
No, well, the thing is, in my with the people who come to me for no lucrative visas at the moment, it's basically been lots of requests. But when they hear the requisites they have to meet, they just drop off. So no, what I read, because I follow all the groups where people share their experiences, it's still radio silence in London, and I don't know what it is. It's not fair, because people they say, of course, they all go back to their own recommendations, and they say, don't book your ticket until you've got your visa. But hey ho, people make plans. So people are getting desperate. The only way out there is for people who are coming in on a student visa, because you can also apply for a student visa if it's a long-term visa from Spain. So those are the only ones who can work around the radio silence in London. But then again, their family members, if they want to bring them, cannot. So they have to stay behind until they can get an appointment.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I hope that they would be able to come as well. But I checked with immigration in Granada, and they said no, just the student themselves, because they have the registration with the institute where they're going to study with, and the partner has to go through regular visa channels. So
it seems like there's a lot more people applying, even though Brexit has happened. There's just. Well, no, it's because more people are applying for visas before they could.
But there are also lots of people applying for even the third or the fourth time trying to get in under the scope of the withdrawal agreement. Still, I'm still putting in with the fabulous lawyer that I work with. I can mention his name. No, can I? Okay, it's Francisco Jose Ortega. Maybe he's watching. He's in Motril. And he approached me when he saw me publishing, when I started my Ask Rochelle Andalusia page, and sharing that all over the place on the expat groups. And he said, I think we can make a good team. And that has proven to be true. I prepare basically residency applications, and I'll be the direct contact and gather all the documents and compile it for him. He checks. And he submits online, and he's our contact with immigration whenever there's any requests or questions. And he also writes fabulous appeals. I've seen various appeals from other lawyers that were sent to me from people who said, could you please have a look at my application because it just doesn't get approved? And what's wrong with it? Because the one person I have who's representing me says she doesn't know what to do anymore. And then I have a look and I see an appeal, single page. No legal arguments, not whatsoever, nothing. And then I see Francisco's, and they're like 6 pages, and they're full of legal arguments, and they're like he takes no shit from immigration, and I'm proud of that. Really am.
Good. There we
And
go.
it works.
That's
And
a
it
really
works.
good recommendation. Yeah.
Yes. Happy to
Good
work
to see
with
you.
him. Yeah. He doesn't only do immigration, of course. He does lots of other stuff. So just give me a shout if you want to contact him.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's difficult. It's still possible, and people. But as long as what I said, because they're so exigent about the extra proof of residency. If you don't have that, then there really are no grounds for an appeal, unless you are willing to go all the way to what I explained before, to that administrativo silencioso appeal through the courts.
Yeah.
Which is not just not what people want. I mean, it's the alternative. If you have, the thing is, if you have the funds for a non-lucrative visa, then that's the alternative you have. But if you have not, and you've already decided your life was going to be here in Spain, and you already send your kids to school here, and this is it, then that's the way to go. If you don't have the funds, then the only way to get through that boundary that immigration is putting up, the big wall of having to have other proof, just the proof of arrival and the regular stuff like proof of health, proof of income and stuff, then you have to go to court by now, because if you don't have that additional proof, if you have it, it's worth a chance appealing the regular administrative appeal. But if you haven't, then you would have to ask the court to decide on it and see whether immigration is applying the rules fairly or not.
There we go. Right. Well, that's nearly time up. We've come up to the half an hour. This has been wonderful.
That's gone fast.
I know it has, hasn't it?
Yes.
So if anyone has any more questions, then ask them in the comments below, and we can still get you some answers.
Yep, of course we can.
So there we go. It's been an absolute pleasure, Rochelle.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. I quite like this news format. It's good to go through a load of different subjects, and we've had plenty of people listening in, and I think we should do it again sometime.
Okay, welcome.
Brilliant. It's only 10 weeks to go now, and I'll be doing this live from Spain myself. So
yeah, wow.
Then me and all of my guests can get together for a good drink.
That would be good. Yes.
Good. Okay then. So everybody, say goodbye to Rochelle for now, and we'll see you again sometime.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye for now. There you have it. So if you've gained some insights from this video, click on the thumbs up. I noticed Julie, when I said click on the thumbs up, she's put a thumbs up in the comments. Click on the like button on YouTube. That's the way to do it. That really helps the show. So next week on the Spanish Breakfast Show, I'll be talking to Carolyn Telio all about what you need to apply for the self-employment visa. And she knows because she did it herself. I think she came over from Canada. So how exciting. Lots of you have been asking questions about this subject, so join us for that next Saturday at the usual time of 9:30 if you're in the UK or Ireland, 10:30 if you're in Spain. And don't forget to check out the Liz and Skatz page. We broadcast live usually on Wednesday evenings about our journey to move to Spain, and that's going to more and more kind of intertwine with this channel as we get closer to the move. And also Liz has got U2 Yoga, where you can have free yoga and meditation classes, and U2 aromatherapy. So check those out as well. And you can get t-shirts and everything for those on the merchandise page. All the links in the description below. So that's all for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and click on the bell. Ting! And if you haven't already done that, please do that. And I will see you soon. Peace and love. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.